All right, what's up, Speak True Sports? This is Bert. I'm joined by Tae once again, and we are here talking about the NFC West. The teams in that division are the Rams, the Niners, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. So we're going to be going over those teams, and we're going to be predicting what where their placement's going to be in their division. So if they're first or last or whatnot. So I think we probably both have the same winner of the division, I assume. Right?
I got Rams. You got Rams?
Yeah, I got the Rams
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's really close in terms of like my projected like win total. I think they're probably going to win around. This is going to sound low, but considering how competitive their division is and how difficult their schedule is to an extent, I think they'll probably have around somewhere between 9 to 12 wins. I think that's kind of their range.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And that's kind of how it was last year too. They kind of just squeezed in with. I think they had 9 wins. I think they won like 9-7 last year. They squeezed in. Yeah, I mean, you just can't you can't take that Rams defense for granted. I mean, it's so good. You got that front four with Aaron Donald. I mean, he makes everybody around him so much better. So I mean, you can't take that front four for granted. And then Jalen Ramsey, he's lighting up that he's firing up the secondary. I mean, he's getting everybody in gear. And then they're talking about moving him around this year, letting him play nickel, which is kind of scary because that's not somebody you want to see in the nickel. You're thinking of seeing somebody like a Nevin Lawson coming from the Raiders or like somebody else like that. You're not expecting to see Jalen Ramsey in the nickel, considering sometimes maybe blitzing or, stunt blitzing and kind of just jumping out there and playing in coverage too. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's gonna go. But
I think the fact that they feel that they have the depth necessary to do that is even more scary than the thought of actually putting him in
really doing it. Yeah. So the fact that they had that much faith in their other corners around them to even have him move around like that, I would say that a lot of teams got to watch out for the Rams this year with that defensive side. And then today,
their offense, though, but their offense is like it all depends on Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford is not healthy, or if he falls off or anything, their offense it could just be straight up done. They have some really good options. I mean, they have. I'm not super high on Darrell Henderson as like their main running back, but they did just, as you were trying to say earlier.
Yeah, they just traded today for Sony Michel, and I mean, you get a guy like that from New England who was, he was not really a bell cow back there, but he was getting a lot of reps there, and he was taking a big percentage of the snaps. So I mean, I'm expecting for them to come in. He's gonna obviously have to learn the offense and everything like that, but I feel like once he gets acclimated and learns the offense, I expect him to kind of take over that main guy role. And I could see them, doing a committee how New Orleans does. But I mean, like you said, Henderson, I don't know, man. He's already dealing with a thumb sprain that they're worrying about too. So I don't know, man. He's not like he's not an every down back. I mean,
I agree.
I say they go 60-40 leaning towards Michelle, but just a matter of time. And then, they gave Matthew Stafford a deep threat, who some people say arguably is the best deep threat of all time, because if you look at the numbers, D-Jack, he is that guy. Based on the numbers, he does have all the stats. He has all the stats to back it up for him to say that. But everybody knows Randy is the best deep threat to play in the NFL. There's no debate.
I mean, I think. Yeah, in terms of their offensive talent, I think it's really, really high. I mean, Darrell Henderson, like you said, I don't think he's an every down back. I think he's a nice pass catcher. His problem is staying healthy once again. But yeah, Sony Michel, the presence of him there, also with Xavier Jones, the third running back, I think that could make a good running back committee if this had to go in that direction. It would suck for fantasy because Darrell Henderson's going like the 5th round right now.
Yeah,
this isn't fantasy. This is real life. They don't care about fantasy points. So. They also have Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp as the wide receivers 1 and 2, and those are some of the best. That's one of the best duos in the league, in my opinion. They also have Van Jefferson, who apparently he sounded pretty good out of camp. And like you said, they have D-Jax, they have Sean Jackson, and they have Tutu Atwell, who was someone they drafted.
And it seems, from what I've been seeing in preseason so far, it seems like they want to use him a lot.
Yeah,
kind of use him for these quick screens, quick routes, just to like get him in space. Because I mean, you got a guy like that, blazing speed, so you want to get him in space to use it. So these quick routes are gonna try to give him some quick screen passes to blaze his speed. And then Another guy who's a sleeper on their roster who I think might end up surging on that tight end depth chart, Jacob Harris.
Oh, Jacob Harris. I think I said Tyler Higbee.
Nah, Jacob Harris. I like Higbee, but I mean, you got a guy 6'5", runs a 4.4.
Yeah.
I mean, good hands. I mean, the talent is there. I think it's just a matter of him getting used to playing tight end because he's a receiver transition to tight end coming out of UCF. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you got 6'5", 4.4 speed. I mean, you can't beat it. I think that the big thing with him is blocking. So that's why he won't see a lot of playing time. But I feel like if they want to spread it out and they want to use him, I mean, he could definitely be an asset. But like you said, Higbee, he's shooting up there, man. I like Higbee. Higbee's very consistent with him. He's a good blocking tight end. And then, occasionally they want to dump it all to him. He can get in the space. He can make something work too. So just a matter, like you said, Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford is the key. He's the key to the Rams' success on offense. If he does bad, all goes downhill.
Yeah, I mean, their backups at quarterback aren't exactly great. I mean, they have John Wolford as their backup quarterback. If Matthew Stafford goes down, that's the team. That's it. They might not even. Either they barely squeak into playoffs or they don't make playoffs.
Don't make it straight.
But let's move on to our second spot. This is where it gets interesting because a lot of people will probably disagree with both of us on whatever we say. Who do you have in your second spot for the NFC West?
I feel like we might be in the same realm. I'm going with San Francisco at second.
Okay.
Me personally, I think just that defense, man, that front four, Nick Bosa, and then they had the who's the other guy on the other end? I'm trying to think of his name. I can't think of his name. I'm losing. I'm pulling the blank.
On the Niners, you said?
Yeah, the other edge rusher they have. They got two guys coming off the edge. Was a main problem before. It was Bosa and somebody else. Going on anyway, the defense is a big thing for them. Their defense has been big for them for years. Also, I mean, they still have Mostert there, who obviously the speed kills, man. You give him the ball in space, he's gone, man. And then Deebo Samuel, I'm big on Deebo Samuel. He's one of I'm a big fan. I think he's primed to be, I don't think he'll be a top guy, but top 15, I see him being in that realm sooner or later. And then, I don't know how long they're going to stick with Jimmy G. Me personally, I think week 3, week 4, Trey Lance will probably be getting some playing time and, finally getting reps in and starting. But that offense, man, that's going to be the key to them. It's really that offense really clicking how they used to and, getting points on the board, and then the defense just holding down for them, getting other teams off the field quick, wearing other teams' defenses out so the offense can just pound, wear them out, and then, they like they always do, play action pass, go over top. Deebo Samuel's gone for a touchdown, so we just have to wait and see how it is. But losing Kendrick Bourne is big. Losing Tevin Coleman's big to that running back committee they had, and then Solomon Thomas too is big too, and then also losing Jared McKinnon to Kansas City, that's big to losing for that running back core. But they drafted Trey Sermon, so hopefully they do well with Sermon and Mostert. So we'll see how it goes.
Niners running backs are cursed. They just constantly get hurt. And so even if Mostert goes down, which Mostert's such a weird player. I don't think he's played more than 7 games in the season, I'm pretty sure. And he's 29, he's getting older. In my opinion, I'm not anticipating, but I feel like he might get injured this year again for an extended amount. That's just what what the data is pointing to. Yeah. What the data is pointing to. And you can't do better than this line on defense. They got Armstead, Kinlaw, Bosa, TJ Jones. They got D Ford there as well. This is an insane defensive line.
4-4, yeah.
My issue is with the health of the players on offense. Kittle's had injuries before in the past. Deebo Samuel has for sure had a lot of injuries in the past. Brandon Ayuk is probably the most healthy wide receiver. He's pretty good as well. But he didn't play much with Jimmy G because Jimmy G also tends to get hurt a lot.
So that's a problem.
Yeah. Honestly, in my opinion, I think they're going to start Jimmy G until he gets hurt. And the second he gets hurt, I think they're switching to Trey Lance. I think the moment he gets hurt, they're going Trey Lance. They're just going to roll with him. But I like the running back depth. I mean, Mostert, he only needs a few touches to explode and go get a touchdown. a 60-yard touchdown or something like that. Trey Sermon's a really, really solid running back in general. He's a big body. He can, I think he can catch a little bit as well. I think they mentioned how they wanted to use Mostert and Sermon together as like a 1A, 1B. I think that's really smart because now Mostert, he gets to take a few snaps off, maybe help his body out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the thing with the Niners, I actually don't have them second. I actually have the Seahawks in second. Yeah. But the reason I don't have the Niners in second is, like I said, is the injuries in general. I'm not sure how this team will hold up over the whole course of the season.
Yeah,
I hope they do.
It's tough, man.
I hope they do because I think George Kittle's like one of my favorite players in the NFL. And this team is going to be it's going to be interesting to watch in general this year. I'm definitely be tuning into a few games, even though I don't have any of these guys on my fantasy team except for Trey Sermon. I'm definitely going to be tuning into some of these games. And yeah, my biggest concern is the offense. If they can't keep up with the other giant offenses in their own division, you know, they might not be able to do it. Whose defense do you think the 49ers defense is better or the Rams?
That's tough. I'm gonna go Rams though, just because
I agree.
Their secondary is so much better than the 49ers secondary is. But
I agree.
The Rams front four makes that secondary so much better than it already is, because they already had the talent. But then when you have Aaron Donald and they have other guys, Leonard Floyd on the D line, it makes it hard for teams to really want to open up and spread the game. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Rams, but it's hand in hand. You can't go wrong with either or. So it's kind of
just a thing. Yeah, that's why I'm saying they don't have the best defense in their own division, even though it is a really good defense, and they don't have the best offense in their own division, even though this has a potential to be a really solid offense. So unless they step up their offense a lot more, I don't think they could actually take the second spot. But I don't think they're going to fourth. There's no way they're dropping the fourth in their own division. Well, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
So, let's go back to this. So I assume you have the Seahawks in third, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the Seahawks then, because Seahawks are my second team. Honestly, I'm banking. This is kind of a risky pick. I'm banking on the Seahawks offense running more than just go routes. I hope the offense is going to be a little more complicated. Tyler Lockett was talking about how the offense seemed more complex, I believe, in training camp. And I mean, we'll see how it goes. They haven't won their preseason games, and they haven't even scored double digits in either of their preseason games, but it's preseason. So, I'm not putting too much stock into that. Their starters haven't even really played. My issue with the Seahawks, and I've given them kind of a wide range in terms of their win totals. I could see them winning anywhere between 7 to 11 games. And that does seem low, but you got to look at their schedule. It's really tough. They got the Colts, the Titans, the Vikings, and the Niners to start. And they got the Rams as well. All of them, except for the Vikings, have great defense.
Great defenses, yeah.
Actually, the Titans are all right, but they've gotten better there. Yeah. And the Vikings are slowly getting better. They got the Saints. It was all right, they could probably beat the Saints. They got the Jags. They could probably beat the Jags. Then they got Green Bay. That's going to be a shootout. The Cardinals, every Cardinals game is going to be a shootout.
Easily.
Football team. That's going to be a defense versus offense game. Niners, another defense versus offense game. They got the Texans, which is nice. Then they got the Rams. Then they got the Bears. And then they got Detroit. So there's a bunch of winnable games, and there's a lot of winnable games, but there's also some games where if their offense isn't clicking, the other team's defense, if it's good enough, and if they are able to just somewhat shut them down, they're not going to win the game.
Yeah.
Their Niners matchups are going to be really hard, in my opinion. So are the Rams matchups. I don't think they match up well against either of those two teams. But in my opinion, I think they have the best offense in their entire division. So I'm giving them that second spot, expecting their offense to get better and to be more consistent.
Yeah. So my thing with the Seahawks again is that offense, man. They love to run the ball. But you have so much talent at the receiver position. Why are you trying to ground and pound with Chris Carson when you can just have Russell Wilson? This guy is amazing. Let him throw the ball. Stop hindering his abilities. I mean, it's like they're wasting his talent.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he's a young guy still, but I mean, come on, man. When are you gonna finally open up the offense and let them fully explode? I've been waiting for it to happen. I mean, you got DK, Lockett. They drafted Dwayne Eskridge. They still have other guys there. So I mean, when are they finally gonna? When is Carroll? Pete. It seems that Pete Carroll is the root of all these problems. So when is he finally gonna sit back and finally just let Russell Wilson open up and spread everybody wide and let them use their speed to an advantage? So I hope they do. I mean, they lost Shaquille Griffin on the defensive side. That's easily was their best corner. So I don't know. I mean, like you said, a lot of the games are going to be just how good can their defense beat other teams' defenses. So I'm not really banking on their defense to really help them out to win a lot of games. A lot of these games that they're going to have the wins are going to be shootouts. I hate to say it, but that's how it's going to be, and that's how it's probably going to be until they finally draft some good defenders in the secondary, some good D linemen. So have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, their offensive line still sucks. They haven't really addressed that much. Their defense in general sucks. But, you know, yeah, the reason I have such a wide variance as well is just because they're going against a lot of teams that have really good defensive lines. Baltimore's defensive line is much improved. Oh, actually, they're not facing Baltimore. I don't believe. Pittsburgh's defensive line is great. The Rams' defensive line is amazing. The Niners' defensive line is amazing. Vikings' defensive line is not bad. They have Daniil Hunter, and they have some good pieces.
Oh, and they just signed back Everson Griffin too. So they brought him back. So
yeah,
that's another big thing.
Colts defensive line, scary. Titans, they have a couple guys.
Yeah.
The Jags are the Jags, you know. But yeah, even the Cardinals, I mean, even they have Chandler Jones. Well, we'll see how long.
Chandler long he's there. If he stays, they have Jones and Watt on each end. I don't know if have they decided they're gonna play Watt at D tackle or DN? Have they decided what they're gonna do with him yet?
I haven't heard much about that. No.
Because I know
either way, though.
Either way, I mean, jeez, you can't go over both of those guys.
And the football team, we got Chase Young and Sweat on the edge. Like, their offensive line needs to seriously step up if they want to win a lot of these games. If not, it's going to be a lot of Russell Wilson just scrambling and just chucking,
making plays happen. How he usually does.
So let's get to we both have the exact same last team in this division. We both have the Cardinals.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. Oh, I did forget to give my Niners range. I have the Niners third. I kind of have their range anywhere from 7 to 11. So somewhere around there.
Like you said, with them and the Seahawks, it's kind of a toss-up. They kind of are going to be in the same win ranges based on which offense can play better or which defense can play better.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just straight up tied at the end of the year. They either the final game decides their fate or their divisional records. But yeah, let's talk about the Cardinals. I have the Cardinals win range anywhere from 5 to 9. It's a wide range.
Yes.
I don't know. The Cardinals haven't really impressed me on offense in preseason so far, but it's preseason. I will say that. And Kyler Murray didn't even want to play in the last preseason game they played. He literally said he did not want to play. But look, you can't deny the Hopkins Murray that duo is
great.
It's great. You can kind of doubt everything else they got around them, especially the running backs. Their running backs. Look, they got Chase Edmonds as a starter, and they picked up James Conner too, I believe, right?
Yeah, and I haven't really heard much about him. I don't even know what's really going on with him. I don't know where he's how he's doing in camp. I haven't really heard a big buzz on James Conner either, so I don't really know what's going on with him.
Yeah, this team is gonna throw until they die,
easily,
straight up. And in a division full of, they probably, in my opinion, they probably have the second or third best offense in this division, but their defense is probably the second worst. It's an interesting toss-up, and a lot of this, the Cardinals are such a weird team because you expect them to be good, but at the same time they missed the playoffs last year. They should not have. They should have made playoffs that year. Yeah. Cliff Kingsbury, I'm not high on him as a coach. I don't know if he's the right coach for this team. I'm going to be honest, and the running schemes just looked bad last year. Chase Edmonds started in some games and he didn't do that great. But now he's a full-time starter, so it's I don't know. They did improve on defense, but in my opinion, I don't think it's enough to vault any of these three elite teams they have in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, losing Pat P, Drake, and then losing Hassan Reddick too, who was one of their best rushers on the team, and probably one of the best linebackers they had. I mean, losing those three who were big pieces to why they had even good success for the team. So I don't know, man. And then like you said, I just their receiving core is not that deep. Like you said, I mean, it's Hopkins, and then it's just next guy up. That's all it is. It's Hopkins and whoever wants to play. So I mean, you can't really bank on AJ Green. He didn't really. He had a good like 3 years in Cincinnati, and then injuries ruined it for him.
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk. I mean, he's a good second option, but I mean, he's just not a big target that you want to rely on. He's more of a slot guy, speed guy you want to get out in open space. Andy Isabella, another guy they want to get out in space. So it's just it's kind of just based on what they were. And I really haven't heard anything. I think he's just going to be a return specialist, but he's really undersized. I mean, 5'7", trying to play receiver, and I mean, it doesn't really work out all the time. I can see him maybe transitioning to trying to do like a Cordell Patterson type role, playing receiver every now and then, taking some handoffs in the backfield. I think that would be best for him because he has a lot of speed. He's very quick, but it's just a matter of how they really want to do it. I mean,
yeah, with Rondale, I mean, they probably throw a lot of short routes to him.
Yeah.
Just hit him, get him open, hit him, and just let him go. Let him do what he does. A lot of people are optimistic about him. I'm not so sure. There's a lot of like depth, but there's no like solidified like second star to step up next to Hopkins. There's a lot of pieces, but there's no glue.
No bona fide guy. Yeah. So like this is one, this is two. There's no guy. It's just one. Yeah. And now they're looking for the two.
Yeah, they're trying to find the two. Honestly, I think it should be Christian Kirk, but he also has injury problems as well. And Larry Fitzgerald, he announced he actually retired, right? Or is he still not made up his mind?
He's a free agent as of now. And he says that he has no desire to play football right now, but he says, I'm not retired yet. He says, I don't know, I might feel different in September, might feel different in October, might feel different in November. But he just doesn't know what he wants to do yet. And I don't think he's under contract with them, so he's really a free agent, so he's able to sign wherever he wants. So
yeah,
I think
he'll probably take his time. He'll probably take his time and figure out what he wants to do. But that's another guy they're losing. Larry was even though he's very old, he's very good for that.
A legend.
Second guy.
He was the second guy. I mean, he was reliable. You want to go third down, you need some yards, give it to Larry. He's great hands. He's able to get open still. He's still able to move a little bit. So I mean, I don't know.
But even with all that talent, they still missed the playoffs. Like that's right. They're in such a tough division. If they were in some other division, honestly, they might be able to win.
They might thrive. Yeah.
Yeah. But in this division, with these three elite teams in front of them, I don't know.
See it happening. And then on the defensive side, like you said, they have Buda Baker. They lost Pat P, but they went and signed Malcolm Butler, who's he's average. He's an average corner. But I mean, I think a big thing with them is how are they going to really use Isaiah Simmons?
Yeah.
Because he's so like talented. I don't think they really know how they're going to use him. Are they going to use him in the box? Are they going to use him back deep? What are they really going to do with him? So
they
don't really know.
Just judging off his rookie year, I feel like they have no idea what to do with him. Like they drafted him based on his talent, but they also don't have a plan on what to do with him. And that might be on their defensive coordinator. That might be on Cliff Kingsbury. Who knows? But like I said, like I don't trust Cliff Kingsbury. I think they need to do better. I think they might need to look in another direction, especially if these running back schemes still look trash. Because if they can't make Chase Edmonds at least like an average running back, if they have a run game, unless Kyler Murray has a Josh Allen type season next year,
he lights it up. He has to light it up. That's their only option. Kyler Murray has to light it up, and he has to be, an MVP caliber quarterback for them to even make something work. So I have to wait and see.
And who's their tight end again?
I think I don't know. They lost Arnold because I know he's in.
Is it Max Williams?
Max Williams.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's not a reliable guy. He's a blocking tight end who they could dump off to every now and then, but it's just not somebody you can rely on. I really see them going like a 4 receiver set a lot of times because they just don't have that tight end to really make something happen.
You know who they kind of remind? This team kind of reminds me of the Texans with Deshaun Watson and like it's kind of just like that where like there's no solidified number 2. Their O-line is shaky at times. The Cardinals O-line is shaky as well. But the thing with the Texans, the reason they were able to at least make playoffs and occasionally, I think they won the division like once or twice. They had a good defense at least to start, at least until Bill O'Brien like blew everything up,
ruined it. Yeah,
yeah. But they had a good defense, like a solid defense, and I don't think the Cardinals have a solid defensive foundation right now. That's my biggest issue with them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those were our NFC West selections. So I'll go off and rattle my list off first, just to remind everyone. I had the Rams, then the Seahawks, then the Niners, and then the Cardinals.
And then on my list, I had Rams, Niners, Seahawks, and Cardinals.
All right. So thank you for watching another video. We'll catch you guys next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, to all that good stuff. See you.
Peace.